Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Tibet House, the Culture Center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi, I extend my heartfelt welcome to all those joining us online from different parts of the world. Before we begin this solemn prayer gathering, I would like to acknowledge a deeply saddening incident that took place on 2nd July 2026. On that day, the late Martyr Pawo Lobga Rangzen, former president of the Tibetan National Congress, New York, New Jersey, lost his life following an act of self-immolation in front of United Nations headquarters in New York. His extreme act was carried out in protest against recently enacted ethnic unity and progress law, reflecting his deep concern for the preservation of Tibet's identity, language, culture, and heritage. We have gathering here today in solemn remembrance of the late Martyr Pawo Lobga Rangzen to offer our collective prayers for the swift passage of his noble soul and to pay our heartfelt homage to his life, dedication, and sacrifice. This prayer gathering offers us an opportunity to come together in a spirit of compassion, reflection, and solidarity. As we unite in a prayer, let us dedicate our aspiration to peace, justice, human dignities, and the well-being of all sentient beings. Thank you for taking the time to joining us in this solemn observance. Your presence, prayer, and solidarity are deeply appreciated. With this word, it is my humble privilege to respectfully invite our Director, Venerable Geshe Doji Damdullah, to kindly lead today's prayer gathering and offer the prayers and dedication for the swift passage of the noble soul of the late Martyr Pawo Lobga Rangzen. Venerable Geshe, with your kind permission, I now hand over the proceedings to you.
Okay. Thank you, Bimbadanla, the program coordinator of Tibet House, and the IT staff who was there, and all the participants for this prayer meet for the late Lobga Rangzen for his very courageous gesture of the offering his life for the purpose um, for the purpose of Tibet and the Tibetan people. So, with this mind, before we proceed with the prayer ceremony, let me share some points with respect to the incident and the prayer meet. First of all, it is the directly in offering prayers that Mr. Lobga Rangzen, who gave his life for the benefit of the Dharma, for the benefit of Tibet, the Tibetan people, the humanity, truth, and the compassion. um, no doubt that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, no doubt that all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they're there to bless him, that he takes a favorable birth, and not just to take a favorable birth, but to continue with this journey of working for the truth, working for awakening the mind of the humanity, and on a larger, the say from the larger point, the perspective for the good of the humanity, for the good of the entire all the sentient beings. And his gesture, so the is very unique in ways that his gesture, along with all the over 160 the martyrs of the Tibetan people, and they become very unique from the point of view of the several the reasons. One is that the His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the embodiment of compassion, embodiment of the universal love and affection, who only thinks about the world, who is the world leader, who thinks about the world at large, and to think about the unity, think about the compassion, think about the genuine world peace. The So he's there. His gesture is greatly apart to say that there is a leader here, world leader here in the world, for the benefit of each of the beings on planet Earth, for everyone, including the ecology, environment, and for the whole world. The world should be a better place where all these conflicts, wars, and the bully all should stop, and then the genuine peace, the spirit of the harmony, the spirit of sisterhood and brotherhood that is possible. So there is the embodiment of the universal compassion to send a message to the world, and then we need to learn from this great teacher, great embodiment of universal compassion, to seek blessings from him, to learn, and these blessings in the form of learning from His Holiness how for this all the citizens of the world to come together in the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood. And number two is that the everyone in the world, if you look at the charter, UNO charter of United Nations, we see that every individual has the right, and every individual's right in life is so important. And no one on this planet Earth wants to give their life, but he gave the life. He gave his life, and over 160 Tibetans gave their lives for and the for what? That thus were all our attempts to draw the attention of the humanity, of the world leaders, about the truth of the Tibetan issue, Tibetan culture, and so forth, what His Holiness stands for, what all the Tibetans, 6 million Tibetans, stand for. This is something very important, yet since 1959, the time His Holiness the Dalai Lama, as a very young, embodiment, extremely young instrumentees, the escape from the Chinese annexation and escape took shelter in India. And India is an amazing nation, the nation of ahimsa, nation of compassion, nation of the non-violence. So His Holiness took shelter here in India, and then this great message there to be conveyed to the world. So this message, all these many years, over 60 years, we are trying to send a message to the world leaders alike, that the listen to what we have to say, and what we are saying, there's a truth behind. The truth is to be with us. And yet, all these 60 years, for whatever reason, it is not really along with incredible great support that the Tibetan people got from the world, particularly because of the charisma and the incredibly great vision, the wisdom, and compassion of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We got a lot of support from the common people and from various the fronts. At the same time, on the national level, so that was quite rare. And yet the Tibetan people, they said, we have a message to be conveyed, a message of truth to be conveyed. And since that, nobody tends to hear this. So there's over 160 Tibetan courageous martyrs, including Lobga Rangzen. Now they tell that our message is extremely important, based on truth, based on universal compassion, and yet nobody's hearing this. And to tell the world how serious our message is, how serious we are with respect to conveying the message, Then they sent this message saying that we are ready to give a life, which people in the past gave their life in anger, in violence against the tyranny, violence against any other authority and so forth. But here, in the case of Tibetan people, no violence involved. Just giving your own, the, the most precious thing that one possesses, your own body, that they offer as the gesture to say that we have something to say, a truth to say. So, and as a proof for this, that in Tibet, both in Tibet, outside Tibet, they could have easily, actually, the instead of sacrificing their own body, they could have easily enacted violence, enacted terrorism, but nobody did it. Over 160 of the Tibetan martyrs, they only just offered their body, offered their life for the cause of Tibet, Tibetan people. And then from the larger perspective, from bigger and a more important perspective for the world unity, world peace and harmony. And yet it has nothing to do with terrorism. This is something so great. They have so much courage to offer their life, but not to harm anybody else. This is something so unique that you find in the world. It's an incredibly great example. Besides, the one example set by, I think, a Thai monk or a Vietnamese monk who gave his life, I think, in 1960s or 1950s. He gave his, or 1970s, he gave his life to tell the world that the world should be mature enough to go for harmony rather than war. So then the next is over 160 Tibetans, courageous martyrs who gave their life not at all inflicting any form of harm to anybody else. For example, in Tibet, the Tibetan martyrs, they could have easily annexed or easily embraced the common Chinese people when they set themselves on fire. They could have easily brought some Chinese the, the politicians or the Chinese the Communist Party members. They could have easily annexed them, let them also be killed, but then they didn't do that. This is a courage. This is incredibly great courage, something to be really admired, something really to be adored. So this is one thing that we need to keep in mind. And so some people, they have a qualm whether or not it goes in line with the Buddhist concept, the so-called suicide, whether it's permissible, whether it's allowed in Buddhism. So where, if you look at the biography or look at the life stories of the Buddha Shakyamuni many, many lifetimes ago, there are so many cases, one of which is very prominent, is when the Buddha took birth as a prince, and he gave his body to the hungry tigress, mother tigress, who's otherwise about to eat her own cubs, to save these cubs and to protect this mother tigress from dying. So the prince, so courageous, to offer his body as a food to this tigress. So he gave his life. So these are the examples we see that where you don't harm others and you give the most precious thing that you have, that is something a bodhisattva's the activity. So something to be venerated, something to be adored. So Buddhist mind and keep in mind that all these, you see that because of this incident, the courageous sacrifice of his own life, all over the world we see the Tibetans and Tibetan supporters all standing in solidarity with the courageous act to speak for the Tibetan people and against the new ethnic unity law imposed by the Communist Chinese to really to get rid of the unique the Tibetan culture, to get rid of the unique Tibetan language, and to separate the Tibetan youngsters, Tibetan young boys and girls from the parents so that they will be totally become a stranger to their own culture, the ethnicity and language and so forth and religion. So this is extremely vicious. The plan the Communist Chinese are creating, bringing out in the name of the ethnic unity law is not actually ethnic unity. It's actually the say act of genocide of the culture, the rich culture, language of the Tibetan people and of the other the ethnic groups. So, with this mind, it is very important today. Tibet House, New Delhi, we organized a prayer meet earlier ones, and now we are organizing this in English language and all the participants, not only the in person now, and even those who are connected with world over, we see that the people, perhaps millions, they are they come into solidarity with the vicious and the acts of the CCP against the Tibetans and the other ethnic groups. So the with this mind, the what we're doing today is a gesture, but this gesture should be like a trigger for us to remember how to stop all these acts of genocide and the wars, disharmony, bully, and so forth happening in the world, how to stop them altogether in the long run in the future, not only in Tibet, everywhere in the world. So what is otherwise bound to happen after 50 years, after 100 years, after 20 years, 200 years, and so forth, how that this should not be repeated in any other parts of the world. So how to do that? So what we're doing today, this is just a reminder for all of us how to think of long term. So long term, that what I made remind each one of us, including myself, is that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, such a visionary world leader, very compassionate world leader, who only thinks of the unity, the bringing together with love and affection, the whole world as one entity, one family, not out of gun, not out of fear, but not out of creating fear, but of the genuine compassion of embrace. That is something unique. And this leader, His Holiness, the world leader, who's been respected by all the sensible leaders, world leaders. So what he has to say, what he has in mind with respect to creating the long-term plan for the world peace, and that no the factions of the human civilization should suffer the same thing, same genocide in the future. For that, His Holiness the Dalai Lama came up with what is known as the concept of universal ethics, a code of conduct to be adopted by everyone, irrespective of what your religious background, ethnicity, gender, the cultural background, and so forth, that everybody is to embrace this voluntarily, without at gunpoint and without creating fear, but voluntarily. And then the people naturally come together. Where there's a problem happening in Africa, the whole world will come to embrace, to give the hands. Where there's a problem happening in Australia, whole world goes there, turn there, and embrace. And something happening in China, the world comes there to support the Chinese people. Something happens in India, the world comes to help. So this is what His Holiness has in his mind over all these last like 40, 50 years. So this he now the concretized this concept known as universal ethics, imparting the information, imparting the knowledge of universal ethics, and today have been taking the shape of what is known as the sea learning. So likewise, many factions, other factions, they adopted the same universal ethics in different forms envisioned by His Holiness the Dalai Lama for the harmony and well-being of the whole world as one family. So let's not forget this. In our own capacity, the what we can do as this very courageous martyr, Mr. Lobga Rangzen. So, what his message, which he pre-recorded before he committed this very courageous gesture of sacrificing, giving his life for Dharma, for the humanity, for the Tibetans. So he said that today we have His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We need to really do things that His Holiness's wishes come true for the betterment of the world, for the betterment of Tibetan people, and greater perspective, from a broader perspective, for the betterment of the humanity, whole humanity, the ecology, including the ecology. So with this in mind, let's not forget this. So today is a reminder for us that His Holiness's wishes for the world, that is to be accomplished, and in whatever way each one of us as a citizen of the world, as a Tibetan or supporter of Tibetans, and just see in what way I can be of service, I can be the part in making this contribution to fulfilling His Holiness's aspiration for the whole world, for the genuine world peace, without the need of creating fear in the world, bringing the world together without creating fear, without the bringing guns, but rather out of compassion, universal compassion and common sense and civilization, the proofs of civilization. So with this mind, let us wholeheartedly visualize now with respect to the prayer meet, let us wholeheartedly visualize His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the Buddha Shakyamuni, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in a space in front of us. And also visualize the very courageous Martyr Lobga Rangzen, and all the other 160 over 160 Tibetan martyrs who give their life for the well-being of the Tibetan culture, Tibetans, and the world peace, making His Holiness's dream of universal compassionate and the harmony in the world to come true. So let's visualize them as well. And their two parents, all family members and children, and all dear mother sentient beings living on another side, including the Chinese, over like 1 billion Chinese, and who are otherwise deprived of their basic human rights, censored, who have to live under censorship. Let's all visualize them as well. And the perpetrators of all these, all because of the wrong system, all because wrong system of communism, just bring all of them within us so that they get common sense of dependent origination to bring up to bring to light the universal compassion. So with this mind, the text, sharing the text. Okay, we will. Okay, so we will, as we recite these verses, imagine that the Lobga Rangzen, the martyr, that Lobga Rangzen and all the over 160 Tibetan martyrs, and anyone who so courageously work for the welfare of the humanity, world peace, and so forth. And then wherever people are suffering, let us visualize all of them along with us, and anyone, not only the Tibetans, even the others also who are suffering. Let's include all of them with us, and in fact, all sentient beings with us. And imagine that you are leading this practice, and everyone is joining us. As we recite these, remember that there are 3 ways of reciting this. First, with words flow. Number 2, words flow and the meanings reflected. Number 3, the words flow, the meanings reflected, and the experiences invoked. Minimum, or at least, we try to do the second one, if not the third. So with this mind, let us recite from together. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sanye jodo zoge chonam lo chanju bardo dane gyamso che dage jinso gebe chonam ge Tola benjir sanje dubare sho sanje choda soge chonamla chanjo bardo dani gyabso che dage jinso gebe sonamgi Tola benjir sanje dubare sho sanje choda soge chonamla chanjo bardo dani gyabso che dage jinso gebe sonamgi I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the host of bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, the knower of all, which leads the hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, the knower of the paths, which causes the bodhisattvas with altruism to benefit migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and omniscience, the thought possession of which helps the Buddha expound a variety of teachings endowed with the complete aspects of subjects, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector, to you are my prostrations, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations, and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally transfer the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha are my prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generally demand full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. And this mantra is so important, and why there's so much of crisis happening in the world. It's all because of because of the because of lacking the knowledge of the meaning of this mantra, cause and effect, efficacy. When that is missing, then you tend to do things which are actually harmful to yourself and harmful to others. All the violent activities happening all over the world, on the global level to the domestic level, where all the violence is happening, all because of the ignorance of misconceiving this law of cause and effect as something very disruptive. They don't have conviction in the efficacy the law of cause and effect. So here, anybody who knows the meaning of this mantra so well will never engage to harm others, and in the process of which you are creating the factors for you to suffer in the future. So, with this mind, and each one of us, let us pray that we become one like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We become one like the Buddha Shakyamuni himself, so that we become the protectors, we become the benefactors of the whole world rather than the perpetrators to instill pain, fear, and the anguish and anxiety in others. So, with this mind, let's rise together. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum te sham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum te sham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. Whatever is the cessation of these causes is taught thus by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-light, and uncomposite, such as the nectar of Dharma I've discovered, finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I'll retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the professional wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddha, so 3 times I obeisance. The 4 seals of Buddha's teachings: all composite things are impermanent, all contaminated things are suffering nature, all phenomena are the nature of emptiness, selflessness, transcendent source, peace. The Gurus of Buddha, the Gurus of Dharma, likewise the Gurus of Sangha, the Gurus of source of everything wholesome, are go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove the miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. Instructions on parting from the 4 attachments. If you're attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you're attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you're attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries gloom. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests. I'll be engaged in the appealing deeds of excellence of enlightenment. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, to the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the Tathagata, the full destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, Lord of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subdued from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you pace of 7 strides, then set them supreme in this world. To you who are wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, one of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dusty like you, the 3 worlds are not, incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior hearing great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. I prostrate to the Buddha, the chief of the bipeds. I prostrate to the Dhamma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the supreme one. To all 3, I will always prostrate with reverence. With extreme devotion do I always prostrate to all who are worthy of prostrations, through surrendering my body's numbering particles that constitute all realms. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flammable lamp, an illusion, a double dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this marriage, may sentient beings attain the rank of state of omniscience, subdue the 4 faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed with aging, sickness, and death. Heart Sutra. As a result of the Heart Sutra, remember the 3 points. The one was a question asked by Shariputra to Avalokiteshvara. And second, what response Avalokiteshvara gave to the question asked by Shariputra. And number 3, what benefit do we get if we practice the in line with what our Avalokiteshvara taught in response to a question asked by Shariputra. So with this in mind, the first question, what question was asked? The first point by Shariputra is that how should the child of the lineage practice professional wisdom? Anybody who wants to be of greatest benefit, who wants to be the greatest of the protectors to all the sentient beings, what should they do? What practice? How should they practice the wisdom of emptiness who want to become the greatest of the benefactor to all the beings? Then Avalokiteshvara responded by saying that everything should be seen like illusion, like a dream. Then the moment you discover that everything's like a dream, you are least affected by the contents of the dream, and thereby you become so courageous to act on behalf of all the demon sentient beings. And then point number three, what benefit we get is that this is the only gate through which all enlightened beings traversed to the highest enlightened state, where they attain the state of fearlessness and infinite ease for themselves, and got the wisdom to share this with all the demon sentient beings. So this is what we will attain. We'll attain a state of fearlessness and infinite happiness for yourself and for all the other demon sentient beings if you practice as taught in Heart Sutra by Avalokiteshvara. Okay, so with this mind, let us recite this, and particularly let us bring to our visualization the perpetrators of all the crimes, of all the harms that happen on the global level, on the domestic level, all, including human beings, animals, everyone, particularly the perpetrators, that given that they were creating new chapters of miseries for themselves, out of great compassion. This is exactly what His Holiness does. I remember 2008 when there was such uprising, large-scale uprising happening in Tibet. His Holiness, the very next day when His Holiness was conducting the teachings, His Holiness said that the moment I heard this and got this information, then I prayed for the perpetrators, particularly the communist Chinese leaders, for them, given that they're creating opening new chapters of miseries for themselves in the future. So His Holiness said that I included them particularly in his practice of the compassion. So with this mind, let's recite this. I prostrate to the Aryatubal gem. Thus did I hear at one time the Buddha was dwelling on Masavalsh's mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara, looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom, and behold, those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice actively with profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There's no element shown up to including no mental element, no mental consciousness element. There's no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there's no suffering, origination, cessation path. There's no exalted wisdom, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in perfectional wisdom, the mind without obscuration, thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, there is the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken, unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of perfection of wisdom is declared, Deyata Om Gade Gade Para Sambade Buddha Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva should train the profound professional wisdom like that the Buddha rose from their concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva out of the Lokeshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice a profound professional wisdom, just as you've indicated, even that the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Master out of the Lokeshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised as spoken by the Buddha. This completes the Arya Bhagavata Prasna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. Let's recite the 5 times together. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Arasamgate Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Arasamgate Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha. By the teachings of three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the whole 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. It was of train the mind to practice compassion and to quell the discordant factors for generating the universal compassion, discordant factors such as anger, ego, and so forth, by Gislangatamba, with the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. Okay, pemberjana iksutes chersuda. In all my deeds, may I probe in my mind, as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, I hold them dear for their rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrong with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extreme hurtful ways, may the God himself is my precious teacher. Embrace me, offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of 8 mundane concerns, and may I recognize all things as illusions, devoted cling be released from bondage. Amazongaba's Interrogation Prayer, verse 1. From our two collections, vast space that have amassed, from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds were smiled blinded with ignorance. Seven practice, excerpt from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samudabhasra. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri, you, the Buddhist alliance amongst humans, God of freedom, in the present, past, and future, in the world's of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy or aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle of Buddha's numberless as particles, each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of the Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugātas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense offer to you victorious ones of Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, scented with powder heaped highest Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I for two victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these I openly lay bare before you. I lift my heart, rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitude realizers, here are still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained a Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for eons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness of well-being for all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering, and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, model offering, short model offering. Okay. This ground, adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha felt and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O saji böge joshi mendo cha röble shenyen de gyambo de Sanje shendo me de buvayin yogananda shelo chabalai sho. Four Dhammas of Venerable Kambupa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The fourth Dhamma is Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. Becoming utterly frustrated with ignorance that grasp at true existence, please bless me with the genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with a precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of non-duality, bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Radha Menda Lagam Nirate Amen. The next, the foundation of all good qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa. This is a roadmap to enlightenment. Thus far, we have created the preliminary practices, and now with this preliminary practice, we prepared. Now we need a roadmap. So this roadmap to attain the enlightenment or awakening the hidden treasure within us. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and the perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to hit them is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect, understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once. It is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous non-virtuous come as follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by the pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, great question arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I've fallen into sea of samsara, so fall among the migratory beings. Please bless me to see this training Supreme Bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to gen quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of the accomplishing two attainments is keeping pure vows in Samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows from pleasures like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teaching of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it for long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and the paths, may quickly attain the state of Vajratara. Okay, let us say this praise maximum verse together 3 times. First in English, followed by the chant in Tibetan. First in English. You are Avadokadeshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, deserve whose demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages, land who snows, Losang Tabai to feed them in prostrations. Okay, Tibet. Cerezim Cemekemben Oy bocam beyan Kancenkebe kaba no santabe shamla sovane Ceresi Cemekembe Boy bocam beyan Kancenkebe kaba no satabe shamla sovade. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, to show whose with demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Losantapa, to feed them frustrations. Okay, so now we're doing the generating the mode of consummate yoga. So for this, so the as indicated earlier, the best way by which to commemorate, best way by which to express a solidarity with the incredibly courageous act of the Lobga Rangzen, is to become very courageous, very compassionate, very wise, the like Lobga Rangzen himself, and then eventually to become more like His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Buddha Shakyamuni, to be able to share the wisdom with all the dear sentient beings, leaving them aside. So for that, we will do we will first generate a very compassionate mind of the bodhicitta. For this, we will do say the first two immeasurables, practice for the first two immeasurables. First, immeasurable compassion, and then to be concluded with the bodhicitta aspiration generation. Okay, so and this is going to be a practice, is a guided meditation, and just follow the instructions and see how much you can invoke the experiences as much as possible. So with this mind, first, the invoke the Buddha's Bodhisattvas, particularly His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Buddha Shakyamuni and all the enlightened masters of the Theravada Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism, and Tibetan Buddhism. Within Tibetan Buddhism, is Sakya, the great teachers of Sakya, Kaiku, Nyingma, Gelug, Potong, Putin, and all these great masters. And with you, visualize all the beings who are suffering and all the beings who are the perpetrators of these sufferings. So with this mind, let us do the proper visualization as instructed. First, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dim sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering? May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, their intense happiness and proud of you, this pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send for nectars of pursuit and lights towards you and all dimensional beings. The mere touch of less than nectars with the body's beings yours frees the beings or washes away all the miseries and causes miseries from the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the dimensions you make you intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and it causes happiness? May all my dear sentient beings be endowed with happiness and it causes happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and it causes happiness. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such courageous commitment, the intense happiness proud of you, this pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send for nectar and with these soothing lights towards you and all dimensional beings. The mere touch lights and nectars with the Buddha's beings yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the dimensions makes you intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Underscoring all the four principles, particularly the first two, is the unconditional love towards all the beings. Just abiding in unconditional for a while. And this unconditional love with this generation of unconditional love, with folded hands, let us make a Bodhisattva commitment 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. This is the most beautiful mind that possibly exists in the entire universe, and today you've generated this mind. Slowly transform this incredibly beautiful mind of the bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean Montesk, white Montesk, horizontally sitting with the heart. Okay, it's amazing that you made such courage commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. But remember that no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing which oil does come out. I have the Buddha energy with me. If this was the case, how come that it's not awakened, it's not activated since time immemorial till today? That's very right. It's all because that since time immemorial till today, I'm just being deceived by the 2 demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude, always coming in the facade for the best of my friends. And today I'm disillusioned by these two. I'm going to do everything to exterminate the 2 demons. What am I going to do? I'm going to introduce a very powerful remedy. What is that? The non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas. What is that like? Okay, let's quickly, those of us who are already exposed to the emptiness concept, you try to follow this and try to really come into some experience of emptiness. And those who do not have this, don't worry, just follow instructions as much as possible. Okay. Let us meditate on the dreamlike nature of the self. Yourself. Okay, how does this stuff appear to you? Like a dream that your mind is creating it? Oh no, it's so independent of my mind. My mind is so intrinsically there. Of course, it is so intrinsically exists there. This is known as self-grasping ignorance. This ignorance is responsible for all the painful tears. Okay, how do we know that this is the ignorance? This is not valid mind. Remember, to evaluate this, remember what Arjuna taught. If the mirage would be water, one knows those close by the mirage see water. But a similar to in reasoning, if the self body exists objectively, why not? I find this as I go closer to the object. Okay, let us now go closer to the object, the self, to see if it does exist objectively. This is what is technically known as subjecting the self to ultimate analysis. By doing so, we go closer to the self. First, we see the very thin layer of the skin, beyond that, fatty tissues, beyond that, the muscles, cartilage, the whole skeleton, heart, the lungs, the liver. All the solid parts constitute element earth. Okay, element earth, is this to identify this intrinsic one with the self? No way. Element water, 4.5 liters of blood pumped in and out by the heart-rhythm muscle. Of course, that is also not me. Element of fire, 2,700 joules of energy. Of course, that's also not me. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs to the muscle body. Of course, that's also not me. Element of space, 99.99% of the body is space, and yet I'm a solid person. I'm not a vacuum. Element of consciousness or the mind. Yes, my mind is also not me. I'm a male or I'm a non-male. I'm a female, I'm a non-female. And the mind does not have gender. Gender is purely based on the body. And also that people can see me, but people cannot see my mind. So which means that this even this mind or the element of consciousness also not to be identified as intrinsic as the self. Are you good? Now you've come too close to the object. What is self? If the self does this objectively, there are only two possibilities. These elements to identify as intrinsically as one with the self, or remove the six elements, they should be self left behind. And which of the two holds true? None. So we ruled out the possibility for this self to exist objectively in these two forms. So now where is the self objectively? Objectively, I discovered this empty. I discovered it's empty. It's not there objectively. It does exist, but subjectively, like a dream, it does not exist objectively. We are slowly transforming this incredibly on the fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness. Anybody who is able to successfully activate this wisdom to see the dreamlike nature of the self, dreamlike nature of all of the phenomena, you will be freed from having to shed painful tears of samsara. That's amazing, it's so precious. Now, this most fearless mind, if you generate this mind stably, you become totally fearless. So this mind of wisdom emptiness slowly transform this into a spotless, clean, thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the Buddhist heart. Okay, now you have the Vajra moon. You are so lucky. The moon is symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta to exterminate self-centered attitude, and the Vajra is symbolic of ultimate bodhicitta, the non-dual wisdom of the Adi Bodhisattvas to exterminate all the mental defilements, both the afflictive and carnal obscurations, thereby making this the innate Buddha nature manifest fully. Wow, that's amazing. Meanwhile, no matter how much you are very meritorious, but what's the point of this if all your demonstration makes us suffering terribly, generate a very strong compassion to all the beings? So with this compassion invokes the Vajramoon at your heart to multiply infinite number of times. She once said Vajramoon at the heart of your mother, once at the heart of your father, once at each of the beings that who you know, the hospitals or otherwise, in each of the beings in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the oceans, the trillions of the creatures. You share this one moon with them, and trillions of creatures in the wilderness, the forest, and in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. Everyone has a share of the Vajra moon from all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. So we're very fortunate. Meanwhile, let's not forget the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. Why not we invite the Buddhist Bodhisattvas to be the witness to undertaking the ceremony of taking aspiration Bodhisattva vow? As a gesture making of the request, all of let us slowly stand up to make true prostrations to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And when you make prostrations, imagine that you make prostrations with everyone, all sentient beings joining us. 3 prostrations together. Okay, if possible, try to sit on your right knees. If not, it's fine. Okay, Pemberton, screen sharing. Now, this is the actual practice, the verses down. Yes. Okay. Let us wholeheartedly contemplate on the meanings of these lines in the 3 verses, plus the 2 more verses at the end. And let me quickly explain the first verse, because if the meanings are reflected with the investment of time, we see that so much of benefit is accrued, and that potential, the seed of us to become a reliable guide to lead all the beings from the state of darkness to the light of the joy, and the darkness of the ignorance to the light of the wisdom, darkness of selfishness to the light of the compassion, universal compassion can possibly happen. So if you contemplate on meanings, so therefore I request all of us to contemplate on meanings. And first, let me quickly explain the first verse. So this journey to awaken hidden treasure within us, in other words, to become enlightened, this is a journey we have never undertaken thus far, and as such, we require incredible great support, and the greatest support that you can think of are the Triple Gem. The first line says, "I go for refuge in the Triple Gem." Then this journey involves the road, and the road, if the road is blocked by the fallen trees, hidden, and so forth, again you cannot enter the journey. So this journey must be freed of the fallen trees and so forth. This road is none other than your own mind. This mind must be freed of the negativities. So, how best to remove these negativities effectively is by confessing the negativities. And the second line says, "I confess the negativities individually." Now that you've great support, the road is clear. The road is clear, but if the car does not have fuel, again you cannot undertake this journey. So the car is none other than your own mind. Your mind is the vehicle. Your mind is the car to move to enlightenment. So it should have the enough fuel of the virtues and the merits. And the best way by which to accumulate so much virtues, the fuel of the virtues, as the Buddha taught, further explained by Lama Tsongkhapa, is by rejoicing in the virtues of all the beings. So the third one says, "I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings." And now that the road is clear, particularly of the selfishness is being confessed, and the car of the mind has enough fuel, the fuel of the virtues, particularly the bodhicitta, universal compassion, altruistic bodhicitta for the benefit of sentient beings. Now you have the road is clear, the car has enough fuel. What kind of journey are you going to undertake? The fourth line says, "I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart." The journey to awaken my hidden treasure, to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings by becoming a reliable guide to lead all the beings from the state of miseries to the ultimate awakening. So, let's start this together 3 times. Imagine that you are leading practice and that all beings are joining us. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the Manu Bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the Manu Supreme Enlightenment, and vowed all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in appealing this accident and enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the Manu Bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the Manu Supreme Enlightenment, and vowed all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in the appealing to this accident of enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the Manu Bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the Manu Supreme Enlightenment, and vowed all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in appealing to this accident of enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. The next two verses. Okay, next two verses, I'm going to quickly explain the meaning. It starts with invoking the blessings of Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas to be here to us. And the first verse says, in the history of the humanity, is there somebody who succeeded in this journey of awakening hidden treasure and become the leading light unto all the dim sentient beings from the darkness of the miseries to the light of the infinite happiness, infinite ease? Yes, there was a Prince Siddhartha. 2,500 years ago, there was a prince by the name Prince Siddhartha, and he succeeds in the journey. How did he succeed in this? He succeeded by introducing two factors. The first factor is the factor of the motivation, very powerful motivation of bodhicitta, desiring to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And the second factor, to materialize this aspiration of the bodhicitta, he engaged in the bodhisattva practices such as 6 perfections and the 4 perfections, total making 10. Perfection: generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, and wisdom, and the skillfulness, aspirational prayers, the power, and the primordial wisdom. So combined together, the 10. Then the next verse says, if this is how Prince Siddhartha succeeded in his journey, I'm also going to take him as my role model to follow the footsteps of this great enlightened teacher by creating these two factors for myself, the way the Buddha Prince Siddhartha did. I will also generate a very powerful motivation of the bodhicitta, wishing to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And then number 2, to materialize this aspiration, I'll also engage in the Bodhisattva practices. Okay, so let's wholeheartedly say these two verses together. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the Manu Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Manu Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the Manu Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Manu Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the Manu Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Manu Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Okay, feel the joy of having received the Bodhisattva vow, and let us repeat these 2 mantras after me. First, Om Sarva Yoga Jitam Upadayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Upadayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Upadayami. Om Surade Samayastam Ho Siddha Vajra Yatasukam. Om Surade Samayastam Ho Siddha Vajra Yatasukam. Om Surade Samayastam Ho Siddha Vajra Yatasu come. Okay, so feel the joy of having received that spiritual vow, and imagine yourself as a little girl, little boy, and the all these many years your mother has been hearing only the complaints from the school principal, and today school principal comes, and imagine that the mother feels so apprehensive. What kind of complaint this time? And the school principal said, no, 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 we came here to congratulate you. What for? Your little daughter, you as a little daughter, you as a little son of this mother, the has been appointed as the best students of the school for this year. And the mother couldn't believe her eyes in the air. So this is exactly what all Buddhist Bodhisattvas are feeling today. So all these many infinite lifetimes we've been only engaged in negativities, where the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel so sad, and in the process we continue to suffer. And Buddhist Bodhisattvas only wish that we experience happiness, bountiful happiness by embracing virtues. On the contrary, we only shun the virtues and thereby remaining bereft of happiness all the time. And today, what you did is something so different. Bodhisattva, they feel so happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the Vajramoon to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that we visualize your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Like with all the replicas Vajramoon from Buddhist Bodhisattvas, like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes the heart of the mother, the father, each one of them members of the children, and each of the beings in this world, in the oceans, in the wilderness, in the Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. This is amazing. So, with this mind, the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they're so happy, and you also extremely happy to see that you're all sentient beings that they're being blessed. But this mind, let's turn to the next verse. Okay, so the let's pray that this Vajramoon that you have generated, that you have so generously shared with all the beings, they're so kindly being blessed by all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. So these two bodhicittas that you and all the sentient beings never be separate from these two bodhicittas, even in the future lifetimes, till Buddhahood. So let's say this three times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the cosmic life. This is amazing. This greatest of the gifts that you can make to all the messenger beings, and this greatest of the offerings that you can make to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, and this greatest of the meaning that you can possibly extract out of your life. And today you're given such a meaning to your life. All these great things happen because of the blessing of Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Let us slowly stand up with all demonstration to make three prostrations all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay, thank you, Wimbledon. The next, okay, to rejoice in what we've done, we'll recite full verses together. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened Mother Bodhicitta in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha and now am one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family, Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in the Hebrew rubbish, likewise by some coincidence, an awakening mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that cures the world's disease. It is a tree that shelters all beings, wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the quenching butter from the channel of the middle of Dharma for all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness. This will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be my guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, so the people recite some mantras. There's after a few pages, 2 or 3 pages later, there's a mantra. Maybe 4 or 5 pages later, we recite the mantras. Just keep scrolling. That's quicker. Yes, thank you. Okay, so first Buddha Shakyamuni mantra, and imagine that Lobga Rangzen, the great courageous, the Martyr Pawo Lobga and all the other 160 over the martyrs, they're with us, and they're reciting these prayers. And His Holiness the Buddha Shakyamuni and all Buddhist Bodhisattvas are blessing us that these martyrs they come back to lead the world, from the darkness of ignorance, darkness of selfishness, darkness of the cruelty, to the light of compassion, to light of harmony. So let's pray that they come back again to lead all of us through the direction, the visions of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay, so as we recite, generally speaking, every time we recite the mantras, you can visualize the particular deity on top of your crown. And those of you who have already received empowerments of the particular deity, you can visualize yourself as the deity. Otherwise, you can visualize the deity on your crown. And as you recite the mantra, you invoke from the deities, their forehead or the crown, the throat and the heart, nectar is flowing, filling the body for all bodies of all the sentient beings, and that all the mental defilements are removed, all the physical, the imbalances are removed, and that we feel the utmost good health, and we feel the utmost mental peace and harmony, fearlessness, courage, compassion, wisdom. So this is what we should be doing. First, Buddha Shakyamuni, and his great compassion, you taught immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, 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 O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha. O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha. O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha. O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha. O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha, O Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha. O Muni Muni Mahamuni Soha. Next, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's eulogy, verse, and the mantra. You have gained command over the command over the speech of Vaishnava Majeshri. Your mind overflows with the nectar of pristine wisdom from the noble vase. You are the ornament that beautifies the playful, expansive ocean of those who uphold the Dharma. I subjugate to you the lotus Hora Avalokiteshvara, the supreme of our beings. Om Guru Vajradhara Bhaddaraga Manju Shri Bhagindara Sumadhi Jnana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sarva Siddhi Om Om Oma Guru Vajradhara Badaraga Manju Shri Bhagindara Sumadhi Jnana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sravasiddhi Hum Hum. Om A Guru Vajradhara Bandaraga Manju Shri Bhagindara Sumadhi Jnana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sravasiddhi Hum Hum. Om A Guru Vajradhara Badaraga Manju Shri Bhagindara Sumadhi Jnana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sravasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bhararaga Manju Shri Bhagendra Sumati Jnana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sarvasiddhi Om Om. Om Guru Vajradhara Bhararaga Manju Shri Bhagendra Sumati Jnana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sarvasiddhi Om Om. Om Guru Vajradhara Bhararaga Manju Shri Bhagendra Sumati Jnana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sarvasiddhi Om Om. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Manju Shri Bhagindra Sumadi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Savasida Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Manju Shri Bhagindra Sumadi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Savasida Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Manju Shri Bhagindra Sumadi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Savasida Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Badara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumadhi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sravasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumadhi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sravasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumadhi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sravasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumadi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumadi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumadi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumade Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Savasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumade Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Savasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumade Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Savasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumadi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sravasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Bandara Gamanju Shri Bhagindra Sumadi Jana Shasandara Samundara Shri Bhadra Sravasiddhi Hum Hum. Next. Okay, this is the Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of Compassion, usage verse in the mantra. You are the universal monarch with 1,000 arms, exhibiting 1,000 lotus eyes or 1,000 Buddhas. You guide beings in accordance with what helps tame each individual best. I pay homage to Venerable Avalokiteshvara. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Next. Arya Manjushri, the Buddha Wisdom Eulogy Verse and Mantra. You display a glorious, youthful appearance. You are adorned with the light of the wisdom orb, dispelling the darkness of all the worlds. I pay homage to Arya Manjushri. Om Arabazana de 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 Om Arabazana. Om Arabazana de 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 Om Arabazana Om Arabazana Dom Arabazana Om Arabazana Om Arabazana de next Arivajapani, the Buddha power, eulogy verse and a mantra. In the supreme land of practitioners with merit locks, you are the chief leader of all sacred Mantrayana and wisdom Mantrayana. You vanquish the host of unwholesome beings and obstacles. I pay homage to Sri Vajrapani, the Buddha who brandishes a Vajra. Om Vajrapani Hum, 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 Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum, 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 Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum, Vajrapani Hum, Vajrapani Hum, Vajrapani Hum, Vajrapani Hum, Vajrapani Hum, Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum, 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 Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum, 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 Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum, 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 Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum, 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 Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum. Next, Aratara, the female Buddha of the swift deeds, universal mantra. You liberate all beings from samsara, and thus you are a Dharma. With Tudare, you free beings from all fears. With Ture, you free beings from all illnesses. I pay homage to you, Matatara. Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure So. Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure So. Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure So. Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure So. Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure So. Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure So. Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, Om Dare Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, Om Dare Du Dare Dure So, Om Dare Du Dare Dure So. Om Dare Du Dare Dure So Ha. Next, medicine Buddha, Yogi verse and the mantra. You are the enlightened one with unconditional love for all sentient beings. Merely hearing your holy name eliminates the pains of the lower realms. You're the Buddha of medicines that heal the root illnesses of three poisons. To you, glorious medicine Buddha, Vaidriya, I pay homage. Okay, the shorter one. The next one. The shorter mantra. No, no, no. Okay. Teata om begaze begaze ma begaze ranja samunga de soha. Teata om begaze begaze ma begaze raza samunga de soha. Okay, for information, the pronunciation, the Tibetans, how they pronounce this mantra may be a little different from the actual Sanskrit version. It doesn't matter. So those who recite the actual Sanskrit version, you can recite this Tatyata Om Beshaje Beshaje Mahabeshaje Raja Samunga Deswaha. And then the Tibetan, for all these 1,000 years, Tibetan have been reciting Tyata Om Begaze Begaze Mahabeshaje. So it's up to you. Blessings are there with both versions. Tiataon begaze begaze ma begaze ranza samoga de soha. Tiataon begaze begaze ma begaze ranza samoga de soha. Tiataon begaze begaze ma begaze ranza samoga de soha. Tiataon begaze begaze ma begaze ranza samoga de soha. Tiataon begaze begaze ma begaze ranza samoga de soha. Tiataon begaze begaze ma begaze ranza samoga de soha. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so hot. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Diatom Begaza Begaza Ma Begaza is a somewhat so. Ha. Next. Guru Padmasambhava, Yurajivas, and Matriana Guru Rinpoche. The great Indian Pandita has been supremely kind to inhabitants of Tibet, the land of snows. The being of Pema Jungne transcends birth and death. In the southwest, he resides at present to subdue evil spirits. The next, home. In the northwest of the land of Odiyana, on the pollen bed of a lotus stem, or a supremely miraculous feat took place. With the immaculate birth of a child, who came to be known as Pema Jungne, surrounded by retinues of numerous dakinis. I'll practice the Dharma by following you. I beseech you to please appear to bless us. Om Ahum Benza Guru Bema Siddhi Hum. 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 Om Ahum Bezaguru Bemasidu. 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 Om Ahum Bezaguru Bemasidahu, 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 Om Ahum Bezaguru Bemasidahu. Yes, Abun Sungabas Eulogy verse and mantra in English. In English, the meaning of the Mizama verse. You are Avalokiteshvara, a great treasure of non-revolutionary compassion, and Manjushri, master of philosophy wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, to show whose the demons without exception, Songkaba, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, those on top at your feet and make restorations. Om Guru Vajadara Sumadi Kiri Siddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajadara Sumadi Kiri Siddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Sumadi Giri 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 Siddhi Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Sumadi Giri Siddhi Hum 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 Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Sumadi Giri Siddhi Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Sumadi Giri Siddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Sumadi Giri Siddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhara Sumadi Giri Siddhi Hum Hum. Next, Vajradhara 100 syllable mantra. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Tenopa Disha Jidro Membawa Sudha Shio Membawa Subho Shio Membawa Anurado Membawa Sarva Siddhi Me Prayacha Sarva Sucha Sarva Kama Sucha Me Chidam Shiriyam Kuruhum Haha Haha Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gada Vajrama Me Muncha Vajri Bhava Ma Samaya Sado Ahum Pe Namdrukonida, Pemdrukonida. Or we can recite it 7 times together. Om Om Vajra Sadhu Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sada Tenoba Disha Jidu Membawa Sudashu Membawa Subhashu Membawa Anurado Membawa Sarvasiddhi Me Prayacha Sarvakama Sucha Me Chidam Shiriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gada Vajramame Munja Vajri Bhava Ma Samaya Sadhu Ahum Pe Om Om Vajasadu Samaya Manupalaya Vajasadu Tenoba Dishta Didum Membawa Sudashu Membawa Subhakoya Membawa Anurado Membawa Sarvasiddhi Me Prayacha Sarakama Sucha Me Chidam Shiriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Savatata Kada Vajra Mame Munja Vajra Bhava Ma Samaya Sadu Ahum Pe Om Vajasado Samaya, Manubalaya, Vajasado Tenoba Disha Dido Membawa, Suba Sudasho Membawa, Subasho Membawa, Honorado Membawa, Sarvasede Membracha, Saravakama Sucha Michidam, Shiriyam Guruhum Haha Haha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Da Vajrama Memunja Vajibava Samaya Sado Ahum Pe Vanida. Om Vajasado Samaya Manupalaya Vajasado Tenoba Disha Dido Membawa Subhasho Membawa Subhasho Membawa Anurado Membawa Sarvasiddhi Me Prayacha Sarvakama Sucha Me Chidam Shiriyam Kuruhum Haha Haha Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatadagata Vajrama Memija Vajabhava Ma Samaya Sada Ahum Pe Om Vajasado Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajasado Tenoba Disha, Dida Mambawa, Sudasho Mambawa, Subasho Mambawa, Anorado Mambawa, Sarvasiddhi Me Prayacha, Sarakama Sucha Michidam Shiriyam Kuru Haha Haha Ho. Bhagavan Savatadagata Vajrama Memija Vajabama Samaya Sado Ahum Pe. By the power, Tamar Diso, the Wadine. By the power of this merit, may I swiftly attain Buddhahood, as did Buddha Shakyamuni. May all beings without exception be led to that perfect state of enlightenment. Okay, now dedication prayer. Then one page before this. Yes, thank you. Dedication prayer. No doubt we have accumulated so much of merit and the virtues with this practice of taking the aspiring Bodhisattva vow and the recitation by invoking the blessing of all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, His Holiness the Dalai Lama Buddha Shakyamuni and so forth, and then the visualizing that the Lobga Rangzen and all the modern the 160 of these martyrs, Tibetan martyrs, we invoke them and we pray that we dedicate the merits that scattered, that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that His Holiness has extremely good health and continue to bless the world by instilling in the common sense of universal compassion and understanding of the wisdom of understanding dependent origination, mutual dependent origination. And let's also pray that the Lobga Rangzen and all these 100 over 160 martyrs and they take rebirth, they come back to be of greatest of service to fulfill the aspirations of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, and by leading the beings from the darkness of ignorance to the wisdom, darkness of selfishness to the universal compassion, darkness of miseries to the infinite ease. And let's pray that all these learning stanzas of the teachings of the Buddhist teaching compassion, universal wisdom, may these Our learning centers thrive in the activities of study, contemplation, meditation for the benefit of sentient beings. May all these learning centers, along with this learning, the bigger academic learning centers, the small, the Dharma centers, may also all the volunteers, they have the good health, the Dharma practice turns out to be very fruitful, and that as many can be benefited from all these Dharma centers. So may the teaching of the Bodhicitta and universal, the, the, the most beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta, the altruistic Bodhicitta, and the most fearless mind of the wisdom and emptiness grow in the minds of all the dear sentient beings. Let me personally dedicate merits that are scattered, that each one of you, through your concerted and conscious effort in the practice of wisdom and Bodhicitta, become such a guiding light to reliable guide to lead all the dear sentient beings towards ultimate happiness. With this mind, let us start 14 verses together. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful, generous, Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri summoned about her truth, realize things as they are, also I dedicate all this medicine in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with a dedication praise as the best for all the Buddhas who appear in free times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. I dedicate the medicine that is scattered, twist realization that deeds and prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of free times, and to the whole in the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, birth, revenge, the two stages, having dispelled all the inner and outer obstacles and downfalls, such as poverty, despair, oppression, cruelty, epidemics, and natural disasters, to the environmental degradation, may all beings forever enjoy the glory of peace and happiness. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of Buddha, full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting by what means can enhance his teaching, achieved by the Supreme Savior through strenuous efforts of countless eons. From my two collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with the effort in this practice for a really length of time, may I become the shield leading Buddha for all those whose minds with minds blinded with ignorance. Okay, let's say this Buddha Shakti praise together 3 times. Namdru Pedrin Tes Chungsu, okay, Inchi de Tungrua. Oh, that's, oh, yeah, that is it. Tawge doje shaye riso chong shenge mito yege bonjombo sergelumbo tabo jebe ko shaye yebo kyala chazelo muni muni mahamuna swaha muni muni mahamuna swaha Tabge tuje shage reso chon shenge meto yege ponjombo sergelumbo tabo jebe ko shaye yemo kyala jazelo Muni Muni Mahamunaya Swaha Age tuje shayere so chon shenge meto dege ponjamba sergelumbo tabo jebelgo shaye yamoy yala chaselo Muni Muni Mahamunaya Swaha 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 Muni Muni Mahamunaya Swaha. Okay, thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damrola, for leading today's prayer gathering and offer the prayers and dedication for the swift passage of the noble soul of the late Martyr Pawo Lobga Rangzen. And I would also thank our online participants for joining us for today's prayer session. Thank you, everyone.